I'm a paediatric neurologist. I work with children who have brain disorders, muscle disorders, and nerve disorders. The elegance of the human body and how intricately designed it is amazing. And I'm not claiming to be an expert in everything by any means, but the more you know, the more you appreciate how extraordinarily complex it is. For example, when Darwin talked about evolution in the 19th century, talking about this very broadly, he talked about the simple cell. We learned about DNA halfway through the last century, and now we understand that there's extremely complex 3D structure and genomic structure to DNA. It just keeps getting more complicated. And what we thought used to be simple variations in genes, now we know that there are many different factors that affect how they manifest. Even just the cytoplasm, which we used to just think was the fluid around the nucleus, is incredibly structured to ensure that all the nutrients get to the right place, that there's the correct transport within a cell, and even within the cell there are little organelles that all have their specific role, and it's actually mind-blowing. The Big Bang Theory suggests a point of origin of the universe, which aligns with the biblical account that God spoke the universe into being. And similarly in cellular biology, as we learn more about cells and the complexity of cells, that also points to creation. For example, DNA is an information code. It gives instructions. It's a language in and of itself. We know that language conveys information. Who bestowed that information onto a code? It has to have been designed that way. How 4 letters could explain and give instructions to all the cells in the body, it's very hard to attribute that to time and chance. To my mind, points to a creator without question. I see science and belief in God and looking in 2 different realms, really. I think with science, it's purely an observation of events within time, within what we can observe, with parameters, usually with assumptions. There are many things that you cannot investigate with science. For example, science looks at mass, it looks at time, it looks at the physical realm. It doesn't explore the supernatural realm. How can you do a scientific experiment into the spiritual realm? You can't. God is the explanation for what we see and observe, and actually it's because of God and his grand design that there is logic behind what we see. God has given us incredible minds to find out more about his creation, and I think God really wants us to understand the world that he's made. It glorifies him, and to have a greater understanding of the complexity and to know the science. It really does lead you to worship God.